Hello friends, welcome to Gikkudiaries YouTube channel for this special Kumbi-Gikku Show, where we will, in the first part of two-part series, going into the IPL 18th edition, starting this Saturday. Srinath, the former player of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, and who is now a reputed top official, a top BCCI umpire. So we will discuss the five teams that finished in the bottom half of 2024, and they include Mumbai Indians, Punjab Kings, Lucknow Super Giants, Gujarat Titans, and Delhi Capitals. Before taking much time, let me welcome Srinath to this Kumbi-Gikku Show. Shri, good morning. Welcome to Gikkudiaries, the Kumbi-Gikku Show.
Morning, Jikku. Pleasure to be on the show. Thank you very much.
So how are you looking ahead to this year's IPL?
Looks pretty exciting, and as you mentioned, the format has been devised in such a way that the 10 teams have been divided into two halves, and in each group, each team plays each other twice, once home and once away, which is in fact the ideal way to go forward. And as you mentioned in the opening statement about the teams which are at the bottom half in the last year, a very big name figures in that. 5-time IPL champions Mumbai Indians. Pretty exciting because we've seen a lot of trade-offs, some new signings. So it's an exciting 18th season, and there's no dull moment when IPL is on. The fever has already started. Just looking forward to an exciting 18th edition of the IPL.
Lovely, yes. It was very surprising that Mumbai Indians, like you mentioned, 5-time champions along with CSK, finished last. And that was quite surprising. And that was also because of the fact that they did not win their home matches. And they say you win your home matches and you are safe into your path to the playoffs, isn't it? How important is winning the home matches for every side?
Obviously, because teams like Mumbai and Chennai, typically their home games have been their fortress. Always the adage is to breach the fortress of Mumbai Indians, that is Wankhede, is a massive task. And history always has thrown light upon Mumbai Indians. They've always been slow starters. In fact, I was part of the IPL when Mumbai Indians started on a very poor note in Abu Dhabi. The first leg was in Abu Dhabi, then it came to India. Yes. They had lost almost everything, and it looked like, they were out. They came back so strongly in the Indian leg. They won everything from there and won the title also. So having known Mumbai Indians, their resilience, and they're always a franchisee which has backed their players. They've always played as a unit, and they've had a fantastic leader before the last edition in Rohit Sharma, marshalling their resources really well. Yes, it's very, very important for all these teams to tick all the boxes and have victories under the belts in their home games. That becomes very important. And when they play the away fixtures, a couple of victories would certainly seal them. So typically at the halfway mark, around 7-8 games when all the teams have played, you get to know a couple of people who have raced ahead. And those are the teams which have basically won most of their home games.
Right. So Mumbai Indians, yes, you mentioned that they have their fortress Wankhede, and they have a popular fan base. But one very big name that is likely to miss the opening few matches for Mumbai Indians is Jasprit Bumrah. How crucial is it going to be for Mumbai Indians and their progress?
I mean, it's a massive body blow. Missing somebody like Bumrah up front at the beginning, as I already mentioned, Mumbai has always been slow starters. And not having Bumrah up front in the ranks for the first few games, we don't know how many games per se, right, but it's going to be a massive body blow because he's the one who can provide you those breakthroughs up front in the power play. He can bowl you the odd over in the middle, and he can handle the death overs. And also the news is the skipper, designated skipper Hardik Pandya, is likely to miss their opening game. So the news from Mumbai Indians is that it could be Surya Kumar Yadav who would be captaining their first game. So obviously, yes, missing their marquee player to start with certainly will upset the balance of the side. But having said that, Mumbai's been a team that's always bounced back very strongly.
Yeah, Hardik Pandya will be missing the first match because of the slow over rate, which extended for 3 matches last season. And is it fair to carry forward that punishment to the next season, Nashri? You being an umpire, why do they do that? It's end of the season, it's done and dusted, isn't it? But why carry forward that punishment into the next season?
I think the code is for 12 months or 24 months. I'm not too sure. But if it's within that period, the ban certainly will be in effect.
Right.
So when you're required to bowl your overs in 85 minutes plus the 5 minutes of the strategic timeout, with all the allowances taken into account, and now you've got a timer which is running, and every 4 or 5 hours it's displayed on the giant screen saying how many minutes they're ahead or behind. Plus, mind you, there's a infield penalty in the match. If you're not starting your last over before the scheduled time, you need to have one extra fielder inside the 30-yard circle. That could really cause big damage. Yes, so that's how the code works, and Hardik Pandya is forced to miss out.
But it doesn't come as a surprise with these low over rates on Mumbai Indians, because they have been finishing their matches late, and the matches get over late, will go beyond 11:30, and it's so difficult for us. We face the problem reaching home from Wankhede to the distant corners of Mumbai. You know how Mumbai is vast, and the reach it sometimes gets very, very late. So that's something which probably, if the management works, it will benefit not only the players but also the spectators and all those who are there at the venue. But when you look at who would you think can replace Jasprit Bumrah in terms of the effectiveness in the Mumbai ranks?
I think those are two big shoes to fill, massive shoes. So you potentially cannot find a replacement for Bumrah. Now the onus would be on Trent Bolt. He's been a seasoned campaigner. He's been around the IPL for a long time, and he's quit international cricket to focus only on playing franchisee leagues across the world. Yes, partially with a new ball, he can be more than a handful, because a left-armer, a luxury to have in the side, who can get the ball to swing both ways, into the right-hander, away from the right-hander. So the new ball with Trent Bolt, and knowing the conditions in Wankhede, night games, there could be some help up front in the first 3 or 4 overs. So Bolt would be the one who could be the leader of the pack right now in the absence of Bumrah. But as I said, very big shoes to fill in, and Bumrah's absence will certainly be missed big time.
That's right. And they also have the tall England left-arm pacer, Reece Topley, and they also have got Deepak Chahar, who has been quite a phenomenon in IPL, especially when he was with Chennai Super Kings. So that probably can, like you said, won't be filling the shoes of Bumrah, but then at least to some extent make up for his loss.
Certainly somebody like a Deepak Chahar, who's known for his exploits with the new ball. Again, he's a guy who relies more on swing. So with the new ball, most of the times when he played for 3 overs in the power play, and many a times he was bowled out straight away with his 4 overs. So again, the options of Bolt and Deepak Chahar pairing up, both very similar kind of bowlers, and both of them rely on swing, and when you need to look at swing, you need to pitch the ball up. So on a particular day when they can't get that swing going, they might go for runs. Yes, a pretty formidable opening bowling attack, Chahar and Bolt, but it all boils down to conditions they play in and what sort of dent they can make up front during the power play.
And with the kind of batting lineup that they have, they should be scoring in excess of 170, 180 consistently. And that's the firepower that they have, isn't it? With Rohit Sharma up front and South African Ryan Rickleton. You have Surya Kumar Yadav and Hardik Pandya later on in the lower or middle order. So it is only the bowlers who have to be coming up and complementing their batsmen. Don't you think so?
Yeah, certainly. We missed out Tilak Verma.
Of course, yes.
Who's been in real hot form with the India T20 side. Yeah, Mumbai, basically they've ticked all boxes. As you said, any total that is put on board is chaseable in Wankhede. You can't get 220, 230 and sit back and say it's good enough for us.
Yes.
Small boundaries, good pitches to bat on, good bouncy tracks where the ball comes on to the bat. They have a terrific batting lineup, no two things about it. But yes, it all boils down to the Indian bowlers who figure in the side, plus the finishing of the Indian batters. The over-reliance on foreign bowlers and foreign batters as finishers would always put a team in trouble. That's what most of the franchisee teams suffer with. A solid finisher from the Indians, because you can only field 4 overseas players. So when you look at 4 overseas players, you could have 3 batters up the order and 1 fast bowler or a spinner. So the middle order becomes the vacant slot, wherein most of the teams have an Indian batting there. So that becomes a very important slot to fill in. Yes, a very formidable looking side, and it all depends on how they start, I said. The beginning is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, you just mentioned about the middle order slot and also the finisher's role. And one player who has done it or almost did it for Punjab Kings last season was Shashank Singh. And when we look at Punjab Kings, what comes to you? Because they have not been able to go beyond the league stage. So what is it with Punjab Kings and not being able to go beyond the league stage? And how do you look at their team this season? Because they have a new coach in Ricky Ponting, who doesn't need any introduction, and he has achieved whatever has to be achieved in international cricket for Australia, winning the World Cup titles. A new captain, but IPL winning captain Shreyas Iyer. So how do you look at Punjab Kings?
Well, it always perplexes me when I see that Punjab not making the playoffs in 17 editions. They always pick some big names, but the problem has been they're playing as a unit. Now you have a new coach in Ponting, you said, but Ponting himself on record has said that he's not had great success with IPL teams. He was shunted halfway through with Mumbai Indians. He didn't have success with the Delhi Capitals. So even Ponting would be really hungry, and he would be desperate to see that Punjab makes the playoffs. And yes, a lot of changes in the side. And you mentioned they have a new captain who's moved over from KKR, Shreyas Iyer. Again, who's been in red hot form. He had a fabulous Champions Trophy. He's done really well in the domestic Mushtaq Ali. A young leader, very proactive captain, dynamic, not very over-expressive or assertive, but he's somebody who did wonders with KKR. And yes, the onus would be on Shreyas, how well he could gel with Ponting to marshal these sources. And yes, Punjab would certainly, yet again, in the 18th edition, would at least have that first target of making it to the playoffs.
Right. With Australian Ricky Ponting at the helm, he also has 5 Australian players in their squad, and 4 of them are sure match winners. Glenn Maxwell, and you name Marcus Stoinis, of course, who retired from ODI surprisingly before the Champions Trophy. Aaron Hardy, and so Josh Inglis, of course, their wicketkeeper batsman. So you have this 5. The 5th one is Xavier Bartlett, who is an unknown commodity and who is not likely to be in the starting 11 straight away. But having these Australians, would that give Ponting the confidence to, like you mentioned, go for their first target of making the playoffs?
Certainly, yes. The comfort zone and comfort levels will obviously be there for Ponting to work with the 4 Aussie overseas players. Having said that, we've seen Maxwell for many, many years now in the IPL. He's always, been there, but never lived up to the expectation or branding of what he's been. There's been that odd spark, an odd finish where he's won games, but certainly he's never lived up to the expectation or tag of what he's been. You mentioned Stoinis again, retired from international cricket. again, on his day, would be a dangerous commodity. Long hitting batter, he can hit the long balls, can be really handy with the ball. But to me, out of these four, I have my money on Josh English. Because he is the one who's currently in form, a wicketkeeper, batter, who can add cushion. So he can, add value and be of help to Shreyas Iyer in maneuvering the field, getting the right angles. And he's a player who goes about his business without getting noticed. And also a left-hander. That's the most important thing. So to have these guys around with the Indians, I think Ponting certainly is in a better place this year. He can work around with his Aussie talent. And yes, again, how quickly they group together and start on a winning note. Initially, if they're not going to get off the blocks quickly, again, they would find themselves either in the low or in the middle. Again, trying to fight through and see what sort of combination they need to work around. Because the headache always is about fitting the four foreigners.
Right.
So if they're going to look at the four Aussies up front, they're going to leave out the other foreigners on the side. So the 7-4 combination always will be a headache. And obviously, Ponting's finger would be pointing towards these four Aussies. Yes, they have a good side. As I said, their first thing would be to start well, gel well as a team. And then as the tournament progresses, they would certainly eye the playoffs.
And Shreyas will also be banking upon his two premier bowlers, Arshdeep Singh and Yuzvendra Chahal, who are the leading wicket takers, the top two in T20 internationals for India. So that will be some big boost if they can deliver the goods up front, isn't it?
Certainly, Arshdeep is known for, again, his exploits with the new ball. And now he's added a couple of more repertoires in his armory. He can bowl the Yorker, he can get this low bouncer going. Again, somebody who's more than a handful with the new ball. If he gets a hint of swing up front with the new ball, he can be really dangerous. And as you said, Yuzi Chahal, RCB's biggest loss year before last in the auction. It was the biggest mistake RCB made. And yes, he came back into the auction table last year because Rajasthan Royals couldn't retain him. And the experience he brings to the table. You mentioned two of the highest wicket takers in T20 internationals are Arshdeep Singh and Yuzi Chahal. I think these two bowlers would be more than a handful. And mind you, the advantage is when Punjab plays at home in Mulanpur. This year they're going to play the games in Mulanpur. I think they play 4 games there and 3 in Dharamshala. Those are big grounds where Chahal would love to bowl. The bigger the grounds, a spinner really comes into play, and they would certainly enjoy that. Yes, these two bowlers would certainly be the key for Punjab's success in this edition of IPL.
Yeah, and talking about bowlers, we go to the next team, Gujarat Titans, who, when you in the 3 seasons that they have been winning in their maiden year in 2022, finishing the playoffs in 2023, and going down to 8th in 2024. So when you look at it, they have been dropping with every passing year. Hopefully they don't do that this year, and it's just going up. Gujarat Titans and their bowlers will probably hold the key to their growth, isn't it?
I think Hardik Pandya really led the side extremely well in the first 2 years. He worked very closely with Ashish Nehra. They formed a very formidable unit. And before people could realize, they just came in as a new entrant and won the IPL first time. They made it to the playoffs in the second. When he was traded off and Mumbai Indians took him into their fold, or rather he came back into Mumbai Indians.
Yes.
So that was a big dent. The leadership mantle became a void. So I think this year again they're going to start on a fresh note. They have Shubman Gill at the top. And again, a young batter. Potentially he's been tipped to be the next in line to captain India. So all eyes will be on Shubman, because the selectors would also be watching not only his performance as a batter, the way he marshals his resources and how he handles his players. So from a team's perspective, his form and his captaincy would be very important. In the larger picture, moving forward to groom him as India's next leader also would be under scrutiny.
Right. So Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan at the top, and later on with the bowlers to support them well, Gujarat Titans have also a lot of all-rounders in their side. But one thing, like they traded with Hardik Pandya, they also released a winner in David Miller. And in the first two seasons, especially the first season, David Miller has been the finisher, often remaining unbeaten in chases, successful chases for Titans. So that will be a huge loss for Titans. Do you agree?
100%. But again, the dynamics of retention when it comes to 4 or 5 players becomes a very tricky issue.
Yes.
So obviously they would have had, their think tank to get together and see how they could have worked it around. Yes, David Miller has been an unsung hero in IPL. He's played some phenomenal knocks, and we spoke about Maxwell, Stoinis. I think 2 guys who come to my mind is one is Nicholas Pooran, the other one is David Miller. These 2 guys, the foreign recruits, have done extremely well as finishers for their respective franchises. Yes, he also Miller formed a very formidable partnership with Rahul Tewatia.
Oh, yes.
Again, one of those rare commodities, an Indian domestic cricketer as a finisher, a very handy leg spinner with the ball. So I think, yes, they would miss the services of David Miller. But again, as I said, retention, trade-off, right to match, these are all very tough calls franchisee needs to take. But with the existing team they have, certainly they would have worked their way through. And again, the home for Gujarat Titans is Narendra Modi Stadium, Ahmedabad. Again, a big ground, massive ground. So the spinners would certainly enjoy bowling there. You certainly would not see the sort of sixers that are being hit in Chinnaswamy or the Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi or in Wankhede. Certainly, these are massive grounds. Your batting prowess will really be put to test. And if there are good pitches that are provided with good bounce, and certainly, Gujarat Titans would certainly be a handful in this edition.
Yeah, you mentioned about Tewatia and Miller, and also add Rashid Khan, and the trio have been, from no-win situations, they have brought their Titans to almost winning situations or even across the line. What about the next team, Lucknow Super Giants, who have been in the playoffs the first 2 years and then 7th in last year? What do you look at Lucknow Super Giants and their biggest ever recruit in terms of the auction money spent? Will the highest ever auction money translate into success for LSG? And you know who I am talking about. The 27 crore man, Rishabh Pant.
Yeah, Rishabh Pant, yeah. I mean, Rishabh Pant is somebody whom any franchisee would go after. On any given day, blindly, you can close your eyes and say, he is my go-to man. And we've seen in the past, the amount of matches he's won for India single-handedly from precarious situations. Yes, many a times, he's somebody like Sehwag, if you can just have a small comparison. Because the flair at which he scored runs in red ball cricket, many a times is not translated into the same with either 50 over or T20 cricket. Actually, many a time it's been a hit and miss for Rishabh. But to me personally, this is an ideal platform and format for him. And he's somebody who loves challenges. And he's somebody who's very similar in terms of his mindset. Like an MS Dhoni, I can say. Very cool, composed on the field. And somebody, his exterior and demeanor rubs off on the other players. You can see a smile on his face. He's not somebody who gets ruffled that easily. But it's a huge challenge for him. Social media, the world, fans would always equate the money that is being paid to a player. Rishabh would never had it at the back of his mind. 27 crores is what LSG is bought him for. But yes, the pressure would be on him. Again, when they decided to let go of KL Rahul, who had done really well for them as a captain and as a batter, for whatever reasons they had on mind. And again, they're entering into the 18th edition and their 3rd edition, with having had success in the previous 2 editions with KL as their captain. It all boils down again when they have a new captain. So it all starts from scratch. And the time post the Champions Trophy when all the franchisees started having their camps. It's too short a period to really group and get everything going together. So it would be a tough task. Again, onus, as you said, he's on the skipper. He will be leading from the front and he's expected to do so.
But then for Lucknow Super Giants to start with, that doubt that they have over the fitness of their three premier fast bowlers, Avesh Khan, Mohsin Khan, and probably the fastest of them, Mayank Yadav. How crucial is their fitness? And if they start straight away, it is fine. But then how will that hit LSG's start to this IPL? Because they are awaiting clearance from the NCA, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading something about Mayank Yadav, and he's been here at Bangalore and NCA spending time on his rehab. Gikku, when they pick a pool of 25 players, they obviously will have 5 in the fringe who could fill in case of an injury to somebody. But when they pick their squad having about 5 or 6 fast bowlers, and their premium fast bowlers are going to be Avesh Khan, Mayank Yadav, who can rattle any side with his pace. We've seen him crank 150 plus Mohsin Khan, who adds variety to the attack. Yes, the composition of the team takes a big beating. Because when the auction happens, when they have players whom they need to pick and they have got them on board, how do they work it around when they have 3 cricketers or 3 fast bowlers who are going to miss the beginning first games? To get somebody relatively new and expect them to do the same job what they're expected to is going to be a tough task. Certainly, LSG management, the coaches, the captain would be scratching their head as to who would be the other guys who could fill the shoes. Yes, it's a cause of concern and worrisome for LSG at the start.
Yes, and also talking about new captains, we have the 5th team of this episode, Delhi Capitals. They have a new captain in Akshar Patel. They have a new coaching staff. So how do you look at Delhi Capitals and the coaching staff that we have not probably heard of? Of course, we have known the names, we have seen them, they have played for India. Hemant Badani, the head coach, Venugopal Rao, the director of cricket. We have our good friend Vijay Bharadwaj as the chief of talent scouting. Jnaneshwar Rao as the fielding coach, among others. How do you look at it, Sri, the new coaching staff and the new captain with expectations high, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly, it's a pretty new look side. Not only per se in terms of the players, even the support staff. I've been a firm believer because you having Indian coaches at the helm could add more value to the side. Because one is familiarity with the Indian players, the comfort with which the Indian players can work with the Indian coaches. Number 2, reading conditions in India. We spoke about Ricky Ponting. We also have Tom Moody in the fray. But traveling to India, having spent time as broadcasters, being with international sides, but you spoke about Hemang, Venu, Vijay. All these guys, born, brought up, they've played all their cricket in India.
Also add Munaf Patel as their bowling coach. So
yes.
Yes.
So it's a very interesting thing, and to me, it looks like a very good move. Now, each team at the end of the day is only measured by the success it has. But for Delhi Capitals, of course, they have Saurav at the top as their director. Again, no better person to be at the top. One of the most successful captains India has had and world cricket has seen. So they have a very formidable Indian coaching setup and a new captain in Akshar Patel. We heard KL Rahul mention, subtly saying that he didn't want to take up the role of the captain. He just wanted to contribute as a player. And yes, of course, his value to the team would be massive. He's been around for a long time in IPL. He's been captain of Punjab, then later with LSG. And certainly he'll be a big contributor to this side. And yes, it would be a boost for Akshar. Recently elevated as the vice captain of the T20 side, tasting success there. and he would have worked very closely with Rohit and Gautam Gambhir and picked up the nuances of what leadership would be. But yes, playing for India is a different ball game. Turning out for your franchisee is totally a different ball game. The pressures that come along in franchisee cricket are something different to what when you turn out for your state or for your country. Yes, pressure, but yes, Aksar would certainly embrace it. A very new look team and as I said, new support staff. Looking forward to Delhi, but they shouldn't be aiming something too big.
Right. Like they say, take one game at a time. And you mentioned KL Rahul giving his inputs. I'm sure Aksar will also fall back upon the experienced Faf du Plessis, who has been named the vice captain of DC, and also somebody like Mitchell Starc, who can be somebody to fall back upon for expertise, expert advice, or whatever, whenever the team situations go off hand, and also help the young bowlers and groom them. And we always talk about foreign coaches in IPL teams, and why not give chances for the Indian coaches? But like we see when you see the Indians in the Delhi Capitals coaching staff, it gives us some happiness, and yes, there is hope for the other Indian coaches also, isn't it? Do you think along similar lines, Sri?
Yeah, I've always been a very strong advocate, Gikku, of this because an Indian coach, it could be anybody. Now, Chandrakant Pandit had a very successful stint last year with KKR, and he's one of those, very low-profile guys who's done wonders with domestic teams in India. Or it could be a Praveen Amre, it could be W.V. Raman.
Oh yes.
So these are guys who worked with domestic sides. All these names I mentioned, especially W.V. and Praveen Amre, have worked in different capacities with various franchises as batting coaches. But as I said, familiarity breeds because most of these Indian boys, they are more comfortable to confide or have a chat with an Indian coach.
Indeed, Sri, like you mentioned, Chandrakant Pandit, the successful coach with KKR last year. We have seen some of the Indian coaches who have been, like you mentioned, in different capacities with various franchises in the past. Let's hope that Hemang Badani and co do well for Delhi Capitals and raise them from the bottom half to the top half in this IPL. One point for discussion with Delhi Capitals has been the withdrawal of Harry Brook, the Englishman, the prolific young England batsman. His withdrawal after Delhi Capitals secured him in the IPL auction last year. His withdrawal citing that he be ready for the international assignments for England did not go well with the franchise, and as per the rules of the IPL, he faces a 2-year ban. Players are allowed to withdraw because of injury or for personal family reasons, but for citing this kind of a reason, Harry Brook is facing the 2-year ban. So he cannot be participating in IPL next 2 years. So that is something which Delhi Capitals has been facing a big blow, because with this last minute withdrawal, you have to look for an ideal replacement. Delhi Capitals bought Harry Brook in the auction for 6.25 crore rupees, and his withdrawal changes the dynamics of the batting and the idea with which, or the plans with which, Hemang Badani and co would have gone into this IPL. Well, but that's Delhi Capitals management, and I'm sure they will find an ideal replacement. But whether he is as good or equally good as Harry Brook, one has to wait and see. On that note, thank you, Sri, for this part 1 of the Kumbi-Gikku Show ahead of this IPL, and see you in the second part, which will feature the top 5 teams that finished in IPL 2024 points table. Until then, Take care. Bye-bye.